Welcome back to the Barkha Churani channel. Today's episode is of continuing to build emotional muscle. If you recollect, in my previous episode, I had spoken about beliefs and said thinking is a gateway to my beliefs. How do we get beliefs? I spoke about that as well. Do we inherit them? Are we born with them? Or do we learn them? But more importantly, I explained the definition of a belief. A belief is an idea which you think or I think is true. Again, I underscore the word which you or I think is true, but may not necessarily be true. In today's episode of Continuing to Build Emotional Muscle, I want to elaborate a little more about beliefs. We have a plethora of beliefs that coexist simultaneously. We call that a belief system or a philosophy of living. A belief system or a philosophy of living is the biosocial bedrock of our personality. What do I mean? Everyone has a biological disposition and social learnings that comprise to develop this belief system or this set of ideas or this set of ideologies or these philosophies that we subscribe to or we live by. When people say that they are impressed by a person's personality, I usually look as to what is the belief system that this person is subscribing to, the ideologies that he or she lives by, the philosophies of his worldviews, his points of view, his attitudes. I would never be really impressed by a person's personality about how he looks, what he wears, how tall or short he is, or the color of his skin. To me, the minute we refer to a personality, we usually look for the person's ideologies, what he would stand for, what he would not stand for, what he would subscribe to, what he would not subscribe to, what he would do, what he would never do. So the personality is nothing but a belief system that the person is advocating or living by. We inherit certain personality types. We have some genetic dispositions. So in the biosocial makeup of a belief system that is acquired partly biologically and socially, you will see that there are tendencies, dispositions, propensities. Let me give you my personal example. I am born with a disposition to be irritable and restless. Of course, with correct sensible attitudes and learnings, I can harness my restlessness, I can yoke it in, I can rein it in, but I can never eliminate it. Why? Because it is a genetic disposition that I get from my father. Someone else may be born with a disposition or a propensity to be much more tolerant and much more accepting. He or she is also born with that genetic disposition. Both of us can't change our basic nature, but we can rein that nature. So for me, I can learn sensible ideologies, attitudes, points of view to be able to harness in my irritation and my restlessness, while the other person can learn correct attitudes to make himself a little less tolerant and possibly a little more energetic and lively. So a biosocial makeup is largely a biological disposition which you and me and all of us human beings are born with. So in my previous episode, I also spoke that we are born with tendencies, with propensities, with preferences for believing some things more easily than others. Some are more gullible, some are more vulnerable, some are more susceptible, some believe certain things more easily, some are easily able to get influenced by, as I said, rishis, gurus, babas, munis, call it whatever you want. So we are born with a biological disposition. This disposition forms our personality type. So some personality traits are inherited. Again, let me exemplify. You will see certain people who are very inventive and curious, while you'll see some others who are absolutely laid back and easy. You will see some people more energetic and lively. You will see some people much more lazy and possibly slothful. You will see some people open to change. You will see some people very resistive. You will see some people very social and friendly. And you will see some who are absolutely reticent. These are personality types. People do not pay attention to the biological disposition, particularly introversion and extroversion. So I see many people who are introverts. Yes, that is a genetically inherited personality type, who unfortunately does not pay enough attention to who he is and chooses a career, for example, in sales. Then you see an extrovert choose a career in research. Both of them will struggle. Why? Because they're not inherently listening to who they are, what their propensity and disposition and tendency is, and choosing careers which are quite contrarian. So in the development of a belief system, the biological makeup plays a very important role. I'm not saying that that can never be controlled, harnessed or reined in, but it can definitely never be eradicated. More of the social aspects of the biosocial bedrock of our personality in my next episode of Continuing to Build Emotional Muscle. However, do pay attention to the biological dispositions, the propensities and the tendencies that you are born with. It will give you a kind of a cue to why you're able to pick up certain beliefs more easily than others. Thank you for watching the Varkha Chulani channel. If you like what you hear, please do hit the like button and do continue to subscribe and share my channel. Till then, it's goodbye.